Alright, familia. In today's webinar, we're going to talk about how to get sustainable lifestyle changes without becoming a nut, becoming crazy, and to get more better self-confidence. And the reason why we're talking about both is because they go hand in hand, right? If you want sustainable lifestyle changes, you will need to get more confidence. You need to trust yourself more. You need to be able to get to that next level, so to say. And you need to have the stability of you need to be certain that you are not falling into old patterns, right? Because tons of us have tried to change our things. We have tried to do different lifestyle changes earlier, but we failed. And that creates a neural pathway in our brain, right? Just like any habit of failing, habit of succeeding, it's both two things that are very tangible. Like it's two things that the more you do one thing, the easier it will be. That's why we're saying, like, when you get momentum, when you get wind in your sail, that's why it's so important that what happens after this webinar, what happens after this entire festival is over, that's what's more important than what's actually happening here, because the change happens after, right? And there's a great expression that I just love to hammer down into my own brain, because I believe it's like the sub-headline of this entire webinar, right? So the saying goes that when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change, then and only then we will change. So when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change, then and only then we will change. Because we are so caught up in getting, like, it's almost like we're so caught up in being attached, that's the expression I'm searching for, being attached to an old version of ourselves. Being attached of the person that we were when we grew up. Being attached of the person that our parents wanted us to be. And everybody wants change, right? All of us want change, but very, very few of us are willing to put in the work. And that's the thing. If you want change, forget positive thinking, forget law of attraction, forget whatever people are promising you. You need to put in consistent work. And the key word that I'm using is consistent, because that's what we're talking about. Right? We're talking about sustainable lifestyle changes. Because so many of us are like, you know, when you're starting, we all met that person. Maybe you are that person. I know I've been that person. When you want to quit smoking, it's like, yeah, I'm on day 4 of no smoking. I'm on day 4. How many days? How's your diet going? Man, I'm on day 20 without sugar. But are you really, like, if you're still counting the days, that's not lasting change. That's not lasting change, because you're so stuck into trying, and you got to give up the idea of trying. So, you know, when we're talking to people, or at least me as a coach, when I'm talking to most of my students, not most of my students, because they've heard me talk about this for so many times, right? It's stop saying that you're trying. How are you doing, champ? Like, how's everything going? You know, I'm really trying to lose weight. I don't see you trying. You're training, you're in this webinar, you're training, you joined the festival, you're eating correct, you stopped smoking. Even if you're only on day 4, you stopped smoking. You've committed to stop smoking. So your internal dialogue matters. Your internal dialogue means so much for you. So when you when you give up the idea of trying and commit to doing, you stop dabbling. You stop dabbling in the light water. Like, you commit. And that's the thing. You got to commit in order for you to succeed. If you want sustainable lifestyle changes, you got to commit. There's no other way around it. There's no other way of, like, getting to where you want to go, if you think that, yeah, but I'm trying, I was only trying, because telling to yourself that you're trying, it leaves a door open. It leaves a door open so you can actually exit through that door later. But I was only trying. Thumbs up on Facebook, thumbs up in Zoom, if that makes sense. The people in Zoom, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Just let me know, and I'm going to do my best to answer the questions also. Same with the people in Facebook. You people in Facebook, you should come into our Zoom room, because then we can see you and you can see us. Jessica saying this makes sense. Sariana says that this makes sense. Perfect. So, again, you got to commit. You got to commit. And it's committing to mastery. Telefonen på det. It's committing to mastery. And even if it's not like mastery being, I'm not saying that you should commit to mastery of becoming a fitness master, a fitness personality. That's not what mastery means here. Mastery means mastery of yourself, mastery of you being in connection with your higher self, right? That's what mastery means. Being in charge of what's going on internally. That's what mastery means. Being in charge of, if I decide to do something, I know I'm gonna do it. Because that's how it goes, right? It's commit, no, other way around. It's, let me do it. David is struggling here. There we go. So the way to do it, it's first of all, like this is the formula I like to use. This is the formula I like to use, and this is how I see it, right? You decide what to do. You make a commitment to yourself and to people around you if you need to. And then you act on it, and then you succeed. Decide, commit, act, and succeed. That's how it goes. That's the formula. That's the formula for you to reach to where you want to get. That's the formula for you to really, even if it's like I'm making it very basic, right? Like I'm really breaking it down to a micro level, like to the most simplistic level ever. Decide, commit, act, succeed, or pivot if you need to. But again, it goes back to the first step of anything here to get that sustainable lifestyle change is to stop dabbling, stop swimming by the shore, swim out a little bit, go deep, commit, give up the ideal of trying, make that shift inside of your own mind. And it requires consistency. It requires consistency day in and day out. Day in and day out. And everybody, and that's the thing with consistency, because everybody fuck up sometimes. Like everybody, like even me, I like every once in a while I act out of character in the sense of like I might miss a workout, I might not have the best workout, I might not practice my dancing when I need to, I might not meditate even if I told myself to do it. But I don't care what I'm doing one day out of a month. I care about what I'm doing the other 29 days. That's the thing. So it's consistency, consistent action towards success. Because success is all of our success and failures comes down to like the small decisions that we are making over and over again, the small consistency and the small failures, I even say. It's like you're failing to doing your workouts. You're failing to attending to the webinar. You're failing to saying I love you to the people. You're failing to resist eating. Failing of resist going to your fridge one more time. So again, when you commit to mastery and If you want to truly commit to mastery, there are a few things that will get you there faster, right? And again, remember, when I say mastery, don't get discouraged by that word. Don't feel like, no, but I'm a beginner. Like, it's not mastery what I want. Mastery over yourself. Because that's what sustainable lifestyle changes, right? You committing and deciding what it is that you want. And then there is like what's called immersive coaching. Then we have what's called like immersive coaching. And if there is one tip that you can take out, if there is one tip that I want you to take out of this entire online festival, virtual congress that we are creating, if there's one thing I want you to take away, it's what I'm going to tell you right now. Immersive coaching, mentors, having a clear roadmap has been the most impactful investments I've done in myself throughout my entire life. If there is one thing you need to take away with you, is that in order for you to get anything, any type of sustainable results, coaching and mentors is the number one thing that's going to get you there faster. I promise you that much. Because remember back in the days, right? Like that's how we people throughout the entire ages have been learning things. Like if you want to become I wanted to say locksmith, but if you want to become like an alchemist or a farmer or a goldsmith or a blacksmith or whatever, like you wanted to sew, for example, you went to a person and you studied that person and you just get immersed by everything. Like how that person behaved, how that person acted, and like there's a reason why all engineers are it's like they have the same type of lingo. All doctors, they have the same type of lingo, the same type of behavior. All trainers, we have the same type. All dancers, all bachata dancers you meet, all souk dancers you meet, because it's an immersive, it's like a collective, right? And that's the thing with it. So when you have a coach, you don't need to make your own mistakes. That's the thing with having a coach. Because when you're on this route of searching for sustainable lifestyle changes, and you want to change your life, right? Like that's the topic of this entire webinar. You're gonna meet so many obstacles, so many like bounces on the way, and so many like obstacles, so many mistakes. But a coach, it will get you there. A coach will give you a roadmap. So you like stop trying all the different all the different diets. Commit to one thing. Commit to one thing and get a coach and listen to that person. Because some of us have said this, right? I've tried everything. I've tried every diet out there. Nothing works for me. I can't lose weight, or I can't learn how to dance, or I can't build muscles. I've tried everything. Yeah, but if you tried everything, that usually means you really tried nothing. Correct? If you tried everything, that means you never really tried anything. But make no mistake, to find a coach also you need to commit. You need to commit to different things. You don't try different coaches, you commit to that person. Like if you join my inner circle student program, for example, like these are people, they get Sebastian 24/7. They get Sebastian 24/7. They get like, I'm there, I'm talking to them, we do phone calls together, we have webinars together, I do their training program, I send them YouTube videos that I think they should learn or to watch to become inspired of. So the same thing there, right? You need to set yourself up for success in order to get that lifestyle change. And it's the basic things. Set yourself up, always have a 2-liter of water bottle next to you. And walk around with it, because I know if I drink one of these, at least I drank not my goal, but pretty close to my goal, right? So my thing is that I have 2 water bottles. I have one that is 1 liter. I drink that entire thing during my workout. And then when I come home, I take this thing out of the fridge. Then I know I'm around 3 liters. That's approximately what I want to drink every day. So I set myself up for success. So if you want to lose weight, for example, why is your fridge filled with junk food? If you want to have more peace of mind, for example, why do you keep listening to heartbreaking emotional music? If you want to become a better dancer, why aren't you going to all the social dancing? Why are you not constantly playing music in your home? Why don't you invite people over? Surround yourself with winners. And that's the beautiful thing with this community that we have. We're a worldwide community. There's so many people that are engaged. We're 800 people inside of the Facebook group. You have 800 dancers that join the Facebook group that is specifically made for dancers that wants to train. Like, you have so many allies there. You have so many people that want you to succeed. So you can engage in that. If you can engage in that, you will move forward so much faster. And coaches will get you to your movie and your end goals so much faster. Like, I actually read a research lately, and it stated that if you have an accountability partner of authority, aka a coach, you have up to 95% bigger chance of reaching your goals. 95%. How crazy is that, right? And that's the thing with, and then we have self-confidence. Because then we have self-confidence, because that gives you self-confidence. Because self-confidence is a muscle. So if you have, let's say you want to build muscles, right? Let's just keep it very simple. Or let's say you want to learn how to dance. We all did that. Everybody watching here is probably a dancer. And if not, just take any other example. You started here. You wanted to learn how to dance. You went on YouTube a little bit, then you started Googling, you started searching around, maybe you exposed yourself to some music, and it's like, okay, bachata, I really like that music. Then you went to class. Very uncomfortable, very new, but you exposed yourself to something new. And then from there, you got a coach, aka your dance teacher. And your dance teachers told you, like, this is how you do the basics. This is how you do your first turn. This is a body wave. This is a pop, if you're doing popping. This is waving. You know, like, there are so many different ways. So you emerged, and then you went so all in, and then you started promising yourself things. Today I'm gonna go dancing. Today I'm gonna go back to class. I go back to class tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna go out social dancing. Okay, the day when I come to social dance next time, I'm gonna dance with the teacher one time. Because first time we went to social dancing, we were all standing there. We were all standing, just watching. Like, maybe somebody asked you to dance, but you were way in the back, like you were not up close to the DJ where all the advanced dancers are. But then you started promising yourself things. And that's the thing, and then your self-confidence started to grow. Because self-confidence is just like discipline. It's a muscle. And the more you work that muscle, the more you're constantly promising yourself and holding what you did or holding your promise, the more that muscle will grow. And the more your self-esteem will grow. Very important difference between self-confidence and self-esteem. Because the more you practice this, the more confidence you will get. Because you are the only one that's deciding up here who you are. A lot of us are feeling like, no, I'm so shy. I don't want that. I'm a shy person. Or I get really bad confidence. Like, you heard people saying that, right? People that are saying that they have really bad confidence. Yeah, but you have really bad confidence in a particular area of life. I have really bad confidence if I'm supposed to make paella. You know? If I'm pointing there because my kitchen is over there. But if I'm standing in my kitchen and I'm supposed to make paella, I have very bad confidence. Like, I don't believe in my own ability to make that. You know? But I have extremely high confidence in that I can read this book, for example, and break down the concepts and present it in a presentable way. Why? Because I have done it so many times. So self-confidence is like, self-confidence in a particular skill, it's almost something you deserve. Like, I don't feel I deserve to have good confidence in making good paella because I never attempted to do it. I never read a documentary. I never spoke to anybody about how the art of making that dish. Like, thumbs up if I'm making sense. Thumbs up on Facebook if I'm making sense. Thumbs up in Zoom if I'm making sense. Samara is saying I'm making sense. Francesco is saying I'm making sense. Jessica is saying I'm making sense. I'm getting thumbs up all the way from Russia. Zariana is saying I'm making sense. Perfect. Because a lot of us is getting this wrong, right? A lot of us are getting like self-confidence wrong. Because there are three things. There are three things that we need to know. Because when you say that you want better confidence, what you're truly saying, because I don't think you mean confidence, and let me explain to you why. Let me break down the three things. First, let me break down confidence, then let me break down self-efficacy, and then let me break down what I actually think you want. Because self-confidence, right? You think you want self-confidence. But like I said, it's so easy to achieve that. It's so easy to achieve confidence. Because self-confidence is not what's gonna make you feel better. Self-confidence is not what's gonna get you to that next level mentally. Because it's a skill, like I said, it takes practice to get self-confidence in an individual task that you want to develop. So again, it's something you deserve, just like we talked about, right? Self-confidence is not about it's just about getting good in a particular thing. And you get confidence in tons of things. So if you put confidence in a phrase, if you want to break it down into one phrase, I'd say it's the belief that I can. Confidence is I can. And then we have what I believe is more important. But it's not necessarily what you're looking for specifically. We have self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is our beliefs in ourselves of getting through hard things. Like, I believe that I can handle whatever obstacle I'm faced with, whatever thing life throws at me, I believe I can get through that. And that's based off experience. And if you really think about it, if you really think about it, I'm certain that we have everybody that's watching on Zoom, on the replay, on Facebook, that you have 100% success rate of getting through tough shit in your life. Because otherwise you wouldn't be here. Right? So I'm so certain that whatever life throws at me. At this moment in life, when I'm standing here 29, it's like, whatever life throws at me, I'm ready. Like, it's gonna be tough, make no mistake. Like, I've done projects that's been heavy. I went through years of depression. I went through 2 knee surgeries. I sprained the life out of my ankle. I didn't dance for 2 years. I've had more hospital visits than any person I know. So I'm so certain that whatever life throws, I was locked in quarantine for 50 days. I left my home twice, but I managed to turn this into a positive thing. Because it's my inner voice. It's your inner voice. It's your inner voice that is like, my inner voice has came to the level that I'm no longer putting myself down. Like, my inner voice is putting myself up. And a lot of us watching this, you have an inner voice that's lying to you. but you need to use a technique to boost your self-efficacy. And I call this my cookie jar. My cookie jar is basically the highlight reel of all the obstacles I went through. So if I look in my cookie jar and I break, for me it's an actual Excel document. I actually have this written out. So if I'm feeling that like I don't believe in myself, I feel a little low, like my self-efficacy is not that strong at that moment, I open my cookie jar, the highlight reel. Overcame depression, did that. Overcame suicidal thoughts, did that. Kept on dancing after my doctor said I would never be able to dance again, did that. Personal trainer certificate in a different language, did that. You know, all of the 3 dance festivals, one got canceled because of COVID, 3 dance festivals or the world's first training and dance festival did that. You know, world's biggest online community when it comes to training for dancers got that. So it's a highlight reel of all the things I'm so proud of, you know? So write that down and boost your self-efficacy, because it's so important. Because we are so, like most of us are worried, like we're living in a worried state of mind, and we are so worried about the things that maybe can happen, or that might happen, or that could happen, or it's not even happen, it's like that will make us uncomfortable. So we are consciously making ourselves uncomfortable to prevent something that maybe could make us uncomfortable. Just take that in for a second. We are when we're worried, this is you when you're worried. When you're worried, you are constantly making yourself uncomfortable, or you're consciously is the word I want to use. When you're worried, you're consciously making yourself uncomfortable to prevent something that might just happen. And just take that into consideration, like really hear what that is. Like, it's so deep, like it goes so deep to self-efficacy. Because we all have gone through tough stuff. And like, write it down for yourself. Write down all the situations you overcame. And if you want to put self-efficacy into one sentence, it's just into one phrase. If self-confidence is I can, self-efficacy is just I will. I will overcome this no matter what's happening. That's what self-efficacy is. And then we got the theme. Thumbs up if I'm making sense, guys. I see no cameras today. It's very dark on my screen. I see one camera getting thumbs up. Perfect. What's happening, Sham? Give me thumbs up if I'm making sense. Give me thumbs up if I'm making sense. Alright, I'm making sense. Perfect. Guys, use this. I'm telling you, I'm not joking around with it. I don't want to share my cookie jar because it's my cookie jar, you know what I mean? I'm not the guy to share my cookies, but you got to write down, because that will boost your self-efficacy. So when you're faced with a situation, it's like, man, I got laid off from work. And then you start to you get worried and doubt and just starts to constipate your mind. But then you look in your cookie jar and it's like, wow, I did all of these things. I did all of these things in the life I live. Why would I be worried? I know I'm going to be all right. But then we got the thing that I believe that you guys want when you think of self-esteem or self-confidence. And it's what I just said, it's self-esteem. The thing I'm certain that when most people are talking about self-confidence, you're talking about it like you're talking about self-esteem. And self-esteem is the thing you're looking for. What most people get wrong is like you're doing things from the outside to boost your inside. You become people pleasers. You hunt for like your worthiness. It's like perfectionists they're fucking masters at this. Like you guys are masters at this. If you're a perfectionist, you're a master at this usually. Like you want to please everything. Everything needs to be clean. Like you need to look perfect in order. Like the thing you're sending in for you to your boss needs to be perfect before you deliver it. But self-esteem is how you see yourself. It's who are you looking at when you are watching yourself in the mirror. That's what it is. That's the thing. It's like, because you don't need confidence to feel that you're good enough. But we can't, and that's the thing, is like, and that's the thing with like our day and age, right? Like we're so caught up in getting likes, like we're so caught up in like getting the most likes. So like if you're constantly looking for outside things, but you have nothing on the internal to stick it to, like you don't have glue on the inside, it doesn't matter how much things you're taking from the inside and putting them in if you don't have true self-esteem. And like it's not providing anything for anyone. Like it's good enough is a decision. It's not a destination. You thinking that you're good enough, it has to come from the inside. Right? So it's a decision. So you have 6, so let's say, again, confidence, it's I am. Self-efficacy, it's I will. Self-confidence, however, it's I am. And that's so powerful. And there are 6 pillars to get better self-esteem. So again, self-confidence, I can. Self-efficacy, I will. Self-esteem is I am. And we have 6 pillars of self-esteem. I read a fantastic book on self-esteem. And it's actually called The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. And it's written by a psychotherapist called Nathaniel Branden. And he breaks it down great. And it's like, it's different practices. It's different practices. And the first pillar of self-esteem is like practice conscious living. Just being here, like I'm so here when I'm with you guys. I'm so here, like I'm not thinking about if I'm hungry, I'm not thinking about what's happened, the webinar I need to do later. Like I'm right here, I'm not going anywhere. I'm so present in this moment. And it's like when you're listening to somebody who's talking, or when eating, or when interacting with someone, that's so important. Like imagine 2 people. 2 people are the person who's living on top and the person who's living on the bottom of the same apartment. The person who's living on top, he lives his life pretty unconscious. He goes to work, he has headphones, he listens to music, he don't really give a shit. Like he woke up, he gave his wife a high five, like he ate his breakfast, didn't really talk to her, watched TV, went to work, didn't really interact much with his company or people, took the tube back home, watched TV when he was there with his wife eating dinner. Pretty normal. Like I believe I'd explained, or I did an example of like the average person. But then you have the guy who's living under. The guy who's living under is operating a little bit different. He wakes up, turns on music, smiles, hugs, kisses his wife, maybe even dance a little bit before work. He's not even a dancer, he just likes fooling around. Eats, his phone is over there, he haven't started work yet, TV shut off, present, they're communicating. Hugs his children, kisses his wife before he goes to work, leaves to work, is very conscious, very, very there, works with something that he feels fulfilled with, comes home, repeats, very conscious, very there, very in the moment. Who do you think has the most self-esteem? Who do you think when he's looking on Facebook and he's seeing all the people around, like, oh shit, this person is in Maldives and doing this. Okay, that person has a better body than me. that person is always eating good food. That guy doesn't care because he's so present in the moment of being with the people he loves. Because so one of the pillars is practice of living consciously. Then you have practice of self-improvement. That's the second practice. And it's improving of what you can and accepting the things you cannot do. Self-acceptance versus self-improvement. So it all starts with like self-acceptance leads to self-improvement, right? Like when I got thin-haired, for example. Like I think it's a very clear example. I'm like 21, 22, like I see my hair is starting to get a little thin. I do some research, really look into it, start to eat some vitamins. So I start to like self-assert, you know what I mean? And then at some point I just accepted it. Like, I can't control this is out of my control. And then I improved it. I decided to make a conscious decision of like, I'm not gonna waste my time looking around for hair products and like not being happy with the way I look, like having complex over this. So practice of self-improvement, practice of coming to a webinar and being present and learning new things, going to dance classes, going to the gym, working out at home. You are improving yourself. That will boost your self-esteem. Like, because you're so busy, you don't have time to have bad self-confidence, bad self-esteem, because you are so busy in wanting to be better and wanting to improve yourself. So that's the second practice. The third practice is the practice of self-responsibility. You got to own up, champ. You got to own up. That's why I started this with sustainable lifestyle changes. That's what this thing is all about. If you want to get sustainable lifestyle changes and better self-esteem, you got to own up. If I look in the mirror and I don't see what I like, and I know that I can't control it, remember, the second practice is improving and accepting what you can control. Improving what you can and accepting what you cannot. But if I'm looking in the mirror and I'm not seeing a body that I'm happy with, if I'm dancing and I don't feel comfortable in my own body because I'm overweight, because I don't have the muscle mass I want to, you got to take ownership in that. That's ownership. Your health, your inner world, that's 100% your responsibility. You need to take care of you being happy. Nobody else can make you be happy. That's only you who can do that. All right? And that's one of the first things I talk about with my inner circle students. That's one of the first things I talk about. When you join my inner circle, that's one of the first things I talk about. One of the first things I talk about is like, you got to own this. You got to own in this position you're in. You put yourself in that position. No, your abusive relationship didn't make you eat that. It's you who you lost control. You lost some control. No, your stress at work is not the reason that you are overweight. Or your stress at work is not the reason why you're feeling stressed. It's your reaction to it. Big difference. Big difference. And again, guys, if anybody wants to have a quick conversation about exactly this, like self-esteem, I would love to hear your situation. Self-esteem, self-confidence, self-improvement. I would love to hear your story. I'm certain I can give you at least some type of insights, or maybe just, a small perspective change that you might need to hear. There is a link in Zoom posted right now. There will also be a link posted in Facebook. If you want to get on a call, I would love to do that. I'm offering everybody who's watching this a free call. But again, book that call fast. Time is very finite in my life. There's a lot of things happening. I'm only one person. And if you want to get on that call, let's get on that call, you know. So, quick recap. Practice of living consciously, number 1. Practice of self-improvement, number 2. Practice of self-responsibility, number 3. This is the 6 pillars. We have 3 left. You have the practice of self-assertiveness. Like being 100% your truest, authentic self. Being grounded in your principles and values, no matter of what's going on the outside. Like I did an hour and a half talk on just this thing in my mental discipline program. Last week in my mental discipline program, you cannot join that right now. It's already full. It's already happening. We're going into week 2 soon. But pay attention if you're interested in learning more about your own mental discipline, because we're coming up with new courses throughout the year. But in the mental discipline program, the first thing that I had them all map out is your values and your principles, because those things, they matter. They really matter. Like, you got to be your authentic self. You can feel it. You can almost taste it when people are trying to fake it. You can almost taste it when people are faking it. I'm so much myself. I'm myself to a ridiculous amount, you know what I mean? Because I love Sebastian. I love this character that I created. I love this person I am today because I went through so much garbage before. So I'm so happy with the person I am today. So I'm just gonna be myself no matter what. If it's 1 person watching this webinar, if it's 80 people watching this webinar, if it's 800,000 webinar, or when it's 800,000 people watching, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna curse the same way I'm cursing. I'm gonna dress the same way I'm dressing, unless my girlfriend gives me something else that she thinks I'm beautiful in. But I'm this guy. This is who I am, 100% authentic myself. That boosts your self-esteem because I can be myself. I'm myself when I'm here, I'm myself when I'm with my family, I'm myself when I am with whoever. So that's the 4th one. Then the 5th one is practice living purposefully. It's this vision that we are living in, this vision, like living with purpose. Remember the guy who lived on top versus the guy who lived under. The guy who lived under, he was the guy who hugged his wife, kissed his children. Maybe he doesn't really feel like his work is his main purpose, but he still feels connected. He knows why he's doing it. I don't always like to do the work I'm doing neither, but I know in order for me to get to my big vision, I got to do this. I got to use this as a stepping stone to get there. So practice living purposefully is very, very important for your self-esteem. Then the next thing, and I believe this is one of the most important things, goes back to what we talked about earlier, commitment, and it's the practice of personal integrity. Don't break your own beliefs or rules. Don't break your own promises. I'd rather break a promise to anybody else than to myself. Because the only time like my inner voice is really disappointed at myself or like is screaming at me is when I'm not doing what I promised myself. I'm snoozing when I said I was gonna wake up. I eat sugar when I told myself I was on a sugar break. I eat junk food even if I don't want to. I tell myself I'm not going to drink today, but I come to a party and peer pressure is forcing me to take a beer, for example. That's when like I feel really low in my self-esteem. So there we have it. Those are the 6 pillars of self-esteem, and it's self-esteem that you need more. It's self-esteem that you need more than self-confidence, again, because it's a skill, right? So what do all of these things have in common? It's practices. It's the practice of personal integrity. It's the practice of living purposefully. It's the practice of assertiveness. the practice of self-responsibility, the practice of improvement, and the practice of living consciously. So it's like yoga, it's like martial art, it's like dancing. Nobody can master dancing. If you're telling me you're a bachata master, it just tells me how little you understand of dancing. It just tells me how little you understand. There's just so few masters in, you can get to black belt, you know what I mean? But then when you get to black belt, you open up black belt. If you're doing martial art and you got the first black belt, it's like, whoa. Now I understand how deep this rabbit hole is, because then there is 9 levels of getting black belt, 9 degrees of black belt. So it's a constant practice. It's constantly staying sharp. If you follow me on my social media, and if you don't, you're missing out, because my social media is lit. Go on my Instagram and follow @SebastianBeFit, @Sebastian_BeFit. And I'm constantly talking and practicing, staying sharp. You need to stay sharp, champ. You need to stay sharp. Constantly, blade against blade. Making yourself sharper, making yourself sharper. You know? That's what it is. There's so many levels to it. So it goes back to what we talked about earlier, continuous practice. Continuous practice will boost your self-esteem. And continuous practice will also boost your self-confidence. Reading over what I call my cookie jar will boost your self-efficacy. This is the thing, champs. Again, I did my absolute best to cover everything. It took me 50 minutes to do this, and like I said, one of the topics took me an hour and a half to explain and dive deep into together with my mental discipline students. All right? Do we have any questions on this? If you have any questions on this, hit me up right now. If you have any questions, you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Zoom, you write it out right now. Seriana is asking, what happens if you fail when making a change? You continue going. You continue moving forward. I told you, you are going to fail. You are going to fail. And Seriana, if you have a specific situation, I'm giving a general answer right now, but if you have a specific situation, just make sure to book that call, and I would love to run it over with you for you enjoy individual situation. But remember that you are going to fail. You are going to fail, so you need to keep on moving forward. Don't beat yourself up over it. Prepare to fail. But it's the continuous action, doing what you are not supposed to do, even if you feel like it or not. Staying disciplined. And that's a whole different topic. We didn't even talk about self-discipline today. That's the game changer. That's the type of things we're talking about in the inner circle. Staying disciplined. Because we all know what we want, what we should do, right? But it's the times when we don't really feel like doing it. Those are the times where self-discipline, that's where your discipline needs to kick in. Because you're not always going to be motivated. Motivation is an emotion. It's a feeling. You know? It's like being inspired or like being happy. I don't care if I'm happy or not. I'm still going to go to work. I'm still going to train. Your boss don't really give... You don't really give a fuck if you're happy when you're coming in on Thursday, when you're coming into work. He obviously cares about you if he's a good boss. But what matters most for him is that you're there, that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not. And that's so fascinating to me. Most of us are so busy. We are so busy. No, not so busy, sorry. We're so disciplined in things that are not for ourselves. You're so disciplined in going to work. You show up to work 8 a.m. every morning and you stay there and you leave in the things when they're supposed to be left in. But when it comes to yourself, taking care of yourself, doing 10-minute workout, doing the actual stretching, doing the meditation, you don't pay the same amount of attention. And that's because of your self-esteem. So let's address it. Again, if you're interested in learning more, let me know. Let's get on that call. Guys, I'm leaving. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you took notes. And I'm getting thumbs up. Give me thumbs up if this was helpful for you. Give me thumbs up if this was helpful for you. Getting tons of thumbs up here. I'm glad the whole screen is filled with thumbs up. Fantastic. All right, familia. This is day 3. We did 3 workouts so far. Another one will be posted tomorrow. There is another webinar that's tomorrow. Tomorrow will be about nutrition. And there will be a secret coming up tomorrow. I'm starting the webinar with a secret. So I need you to be on, I need you to be in training clothes. That's the secret, all right? So show up in training clothes, same time, same link. I will post a link in the Facebook group. Watch the replay, book your call if you have any questions, and remember, as always, by dancers for dancers.